Today we're going to talk about a few extras from Chapter 4. The first thing we're going to look at from Chapter 4 is the character chart. Now, Jim Hawkins, of course, was introduced to us in Chapter 1, but in Chapter 4, the things that we now know about him is that he overhears pirates planning mutiny, and then he exposes their plan to the doctor and to the squire. The second character we're going to look at is Long John Silver, also known as Barbecue because he's the ship's cook. We did not cover what happened to him in Chapter 3, so we're going to do that first. So in Chapter 3, we learned that he owned the Spyglass Tavern, that he taught Jim nautical terms, and that he has a pet pirate named Captain Flint. The things we learned about Long John Silver in Chapter 4 was that he was a crew member for Captain Flint, which also explains why he named his pet parrot Captain Flint. In Chapter 4, we also learned that Long John Silver is in fact a pirate and that he's planning mutiny to get the treasure. The next thing that we're going to do with Chapter 4 is we're going to be citing some evidence from the text. When you cite evidence from the text, you will first of all want to read each question carefully, and you want to find the evidence and the page number where you found the evidence, and then also answer it in complete sentences, making sure you restate the question. So the first question we're going to look at is, what new information is revealed by Long John Silver's statement, "Flint was captain and I was part of the crew. I lost my leg on that voyage and old Pew lost his eyes. But I got my hands on some money and it's all safe in the bank." So what information is revealed by that? Now, to start, I'm going to tell you where you can find this passage. This passage is located on page 36. So here is this passage on page 36. So what was the new information revealed by that statement? Well, we know that Silver knows that the pirates tried to steal the treasure map from the inn. So by him saying Flint was captain and I was part of the crew, that hadn't been confirmed before now. And him saying that he lost his leg on the voyage and old Pew lost his eyes, that's also telling us that he was part of that crew and that him and old Pew knew each other. But lastly, him saying that he got his hands on some money and it's all safe in the bank tells us that he was part of the original voyage when the treasure was found and then hidden and buried. So the next question asks, why do you think Silver suddenly breaks off when he's talking about what he will do to the other crew members once the treasure is found? And I'm going to tell you that this is found on page 38. So here we are on page 38, and it says, "When I'm a rich man back in England and riding in my coach, I don't want these men coming home. We'll wait, but when the time comes, let her rip. I claim Trelawney. Dick," he added, breaking off suddenly, "jump up like a sweet lad and get me an apple to wet my pipe." So notice Silver stopped talking mid-sentence. Why do you think he broke off where he was talking about to the other crew members? Well, maybe it has something to do with he said too much about stealing the treasure and getting rid of other crew members. He was afraid someone might have heard what he was saying. So he stopped his plan before he said anything more. The next one we're going to look at is, why does Captain Smollett have a copy of a map that does not show where the treasure is buried? And we can find that on page 39. So here's page 39, and it says, "I have a map here," said the captain. "Have a look and see if this is the place." John Silver's eyes burned with intensity as he took the map, but I could tell it was not the map I had found in Billy Bones' chests. It was a copy that did not show the location of Flint's treasure. Silver carefully concealed his disappointment. So we can see on page 38 that obviously the map does not have where the treasure is buried. But if you think back to chapter 3 on page 29, the captain said this. So here's page 29. And the captain did say, "I don't know who has this map, but I ask that it be kept somewhere secret, even from me." So see, those are two different pieces of evidence that proves why Captain Smollett would want a copy of the map. He knows that there are probably some people that are dishonest, and in order to make sure that the dishonest people don't get to the treasure first, he had a copy of the map created. Notice with several of these questions, not only are we finding the answer on a certain page where it's talking about it now in chapter 4, but also it's making us think back to chapters from before where we had learned about knowledge that didn't probably make sense then, but now the pieces are starting to fit together. You will be expected to find evidence in text here in the near future, but I wanted to make sure that you understood how to find things in our reader if it's asking for a specific page. So I want you to use the reader to go check this out, but please make sure that you pay attention. If it says page 1 of 28, notice this is the cover, so it's not even really truly the same page. And if I scroll down, here is page 5, but on this here, it says it's page 11 because it counted the cover, it counted the table of contents pages. So please make sure if I'm saying that it's on page 36, you're actually paying attention to the page numbers on the page, not on the document reader.